Hey there fans of Comic Land, it's Leila here from the Comic Connection with this week's comic book reviews. And first up, we've got Captain America #1 by Ed Brubaker and Steve McNiven.
What is this, number 50, number 1?
I'm not sure, this could be volume 27, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a new Cap #1, and this is the special blank cover variant for you fanboys out there who would like to buy a blank cover.
Who like to see Captain America in a snowstorm.
Yes. No, not really, it's not a snowstorm. This is so you can take it to a Comic-Con or anything like that, a place that's having an artist signing, and get them to do a cool cover for you. So, in this one, Brubaker wastes no time jumping into the story while catching up the reader on Cap's past. Steve buries an old friend, and some faces from the past resurface as Steve and his friends become the target of a sinister plot. So just in time for the release of a new Cap film, there's a new Cap #1.
Coincidence? I think not.
It does seem like a bit of a primer for the upcoming film. It gives you like a really quick, like, you know, Steve Rogers, you know, fighting ice, not in ice thing montage, and then gets right to the story. But Brubaker and Epting don't disappoint in this one. They're an impressive duo who are very familiar with this hero and his world, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I have to jump on with Cap when it's this team, and I think you should too. Next up, we've got Ghost Rider #1 by Rob Williams and Matthew Clark. In this one, Johnny Blaze is no longer Ghost Rider. With the help of a mysterious stranger known as Adam, Johnny is free, and the Spirit of Vengeance has a new host, one who's being tested by Sin, Blackout, and Deathwatch. But Mephisto didn't choose this rider and warns that the entire human race has been doomed in this Spirit Self time. So, I admit that I'm not a huge Ghost Rider fan. I thought that the movie was okay, it was serviceable, you know, and the comics aren't always that interesting to me, but I really liked this one. I thought it was really well done, the art is great, and I think it's about time that we had this kind of Ghost Rider, and if you read this book, you'll know what I mean. So, if you are reading Fear Itself, I think this is probably a fairly good addition to what's going on. Not sure if it's going to be a key to everything, but a pretty good read. Next up, we've got Space Warped, #2 of 6 by Hervé Burris and Rudy Spizert. So in the continuation of the Star Wars Episode 4 parody, Jean-Luc, Al, and the gang rescue Princess Laika and escape with the location and plans for the Black Castle. And Salvador and his evil henchmen are finally defeated. Or at least for now. I love this parody. If you're a Star Wars fan, you have to read this. It's just awesome. It's hilarious. It looks like they're going to do the whole original trilogy for the 6 issues. And like I said, if you're a Star Wars fan, you should pick it up. It's a really funny read. And last but not least, we've got Lady Mechanika #2 by Joe Benitez. Yes, it's finally here after a bunch of waiting for this book, but I think it is worth the wait. In this one, Lady Mechanika is forced to face her past when she is pitted against Commander Catherine Winter. Lord Blackpool wants her dead, and who is the mysterious Kane? Could he be Mechanika's maker, or is something more sinister afoot? I really like this. I mean, the art is beautiful. If you're a steampunk fan, you're going to like this book. There's a lot of good story going on here, and the interaction between the 2 female characters in this book is just superb. I wish that it would come out on a more frequent, regular basis, but other than that, I have to say that I really enjoy this book and look forward to the next one. See you next week.
Hey folks, Jim here with this week's comic reviews. First up, we have Faster Dynamite, Kill, Kill. And this one's written and drawn by Sarkowski. And in this one, Ava tries to take a vacation from her terrorist life, but the Americans don't make her life easy on the beaches of the Persian Gulf. This is a hilarious book. Poor Ava is a terrorist who just can't catch a break. Everywhere she goes, the Americans follow, and she just, well, the life of a terrorist is never an easy one. But it's a funny one, and that's all that really counts in this book. Hilarious story, hilarious art by Sarkowski. If you've never tried this book, try it out. You're going to enjoy it. Next up, we have Snow, #1, written and drawn by Benjamin Rivers. And in this one, Dana is a woman who doesn't like to get involved much, but when the world starts pushing Dana, she must start to push back. But does she have what it takes? We'll see. This story's really heart-wrenching because it deals with everything that everyone is going through in their own lives right now, with businesses closing down, people losing their jobs. It's a very heartfelt and emotional tale, and it's well written and it's well drawn, and quite frankly, it's a really good read if you get a chance. Check this one out. It's totally worth it. And last and certainly not least, we have Demon Graphics, number 1, written and drawn by Jens Pindell and Brent Forrest. And in this one, we follow the adventures of Igor and the Iron Maiden as they adventure across a wacky world filled with over-the-top adventure. Ah, boy, this book is hilarious. Jens Pindell is a well-known animator from Space Jam, Ned's Newt, you name it, he's probably worked on it in Canada. Fantastic art, fantastic story, hilarious all the way through. I can't highly recommend this enough. Pick this up if you get a chance. It's simply wonderful. Hey folks, welcome back. We're here with the news again after a few weeks off because there was nothing really newsworthy,
Yes.
as it were.
Not really, not unless you want to talk about that trial that happened or something like that.
Let's not talk about that. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see a pissed off Jake.
No.
Anyway, first up in news, we have my pal Rod Espinoza needs help reprinting his masterpiece Neotopia in a new 700-page collector's edition. Basically, it's up on Kickstarter.com, and you can find the link right below. Every dollar that goes towards this helps in printing the book out, and it would be fantastic if everyone can just donate $1. Just donate $1, and you'll get your name in the credits of the book.
That's cool.
So go to the link that's under us right now, and please help out Rod. Neotopia is a fantastic steampunk fantasy adventure that so many people need to read. It's simply wonderful storytelling at its best, and the art by Rod is simply fantastic. And I don't say that just because he's a friend, but because, quite frankly, it's a book that everyone should read. Next up, we have a little bit of news about a certain wizard who's finally graduating.
Yes, the last of the Harry Potter movies comes out this week. In fact,
About time.
There's some midnight showings that are going to happen, I guess, tonight. By the time we air this, I guess it'll be last night.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's already made like $25 million before it's really even opened, so you know that this movie's going to be huge. 3D this time for the last film. They even had special Harry Potter spectacle 3D glasses for I think the midnight showings that are happening. So I sadly did not get a ticket for those. I am going to go see the movie on Saturday, but I would love a pair of those glasses. If you don't want yours, please send them to me at the Comic Connection, 895 King Street West, Hamilton, Ontario, LAS 1K5. And I'd appreciate it.
Such a little diva you are sometimes.
Yes, I would like to own a pair. I am a huge Harry Potter nerd like that. I have like a little Tom Riddle grave statue, and I have like a Triwizard cup lamp. So I need these. So
and
I have a time turner. Yeah, I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd.
I thought I was a nerd. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to a giant robot movie.
Oh yes.
And I'm not talking about Real Steel.
Which I'm looking forward to. I know that you're frightened.
I'm a bit frightened, yeah, but fighting robots, who cares?
Yes.
Of course, we're talking about Transformers 3. Now, we're going to go point by point on this. I liked it. Leila hated it. So we're going to be a little Siskel and Ebert-ish here.
Yeah.
Let's go over our points of like and dislike. For me, what I liked was that there was a lot of cartoon and G1 story references.
Yeah, that was neat.
The darker tone was quite refreshing.
Yeah, I guess, expecting it to be the end of a trilogy, a bit darker, it's a bit expected.
Patrick Dempsey was a frickin' kick-ass villain.
Surprisingly.
Excellent.
Yeah, he ate up the scenes that he was in, and I thought he was fabulous, and he should be a bad guy more often, apparently. Yeah.
I actually think the 3D was probably the best and most useful since Avatar.
Yeah.
It was really layered and it really worked well.
I didn't see the 3D. I'll admit to that, but I will say that I liked that they did 3D because what it equaled was they slowed down the fighting just that extra little bit. so that you could see more of what was going on, which was
Yeah.
sort of my complaint, especially with Transformers number 2, where it became
Yeah.
so frantic that sometimes you're like, what just happened? What did I see? Who's fighting right now? You know, and the way that they made the robots really stand out by making like the bad guys like that silver monocolor,
Yeah.
and then putting like a strong like Autobot color, like it's either yellow or it's red or whatever, and then with the slowdown, you really got to see everything, which was amazing.
Okay, I'll go on to points of disdain in this film now.
Okay.
It's mindless fun.
Yes, the plot's not that awesome.
It's a Michael Bay film. You leave your brain at the door.
Yeah.
There's not much in the way of character development. I'm pretty
well,
sure
other
all
than
they did was replace Megan Fox's character name in the script, going,
Yeah, and
Carly, and then
Yeah.
Carly says.
It's a new girl, and like, I mean, I guess they try and get Shia to do more in this one, but it just
Yeah.
didn't really work for me. His
Yeah.
whole like, I've saved the world twice, but I can't get a job, but nobody appreciates me.
His total derp face with the president.
I don't know. Some of it was really, whatever. And I love John Turturro, but at times I really felt
Yeah.
like I was over the top. And I love Frances McDermott, but
Yeah.
was she really required in this movie?
I don't think she was, and was.
I don't know. The human characters, oddly, are what sort of wrecked it, and it was supposed to
Yeah.
be about saving the Earth.
Yeah.
So ultimately, about those human characters.
And speaking of which, Optimus is a total killing machine / douche.
Apparently.
Okay, in the film they pretend
This is a spoiler. We should
this
put
is
this
a
out.
this
If
is
you
a
haven't
spoiler.
seen it,
But then again, it's made 800 million, so
you've probably seen it.
you've
But
probably
just in
seen
case,
it.
just in case.
Spoiler alert. Optimus is a total killing machine / douche.
Yeah.
The Autobots pretend to get themselves killed, which then the Decepticons decide
To take over the Earth.
to take over Chicago of
Yeah, oh,
all
yes.
places. And
Yes.
really, where are the Blues Brothers
Although
when
it
you
was
need them?
very beautiful. Like
yeah.
the whole backdrop of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful city.
But basically what happens is Optimus lets the Decepticons kill everyone in Chicago just to prove a point that Earth needs the Autobots.
Yeah,
What a douche move.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
But I can't really complain.
I
mean,
guess. Just for me...
it works with the darker tone of the film.
Yeah, I mean, that part did work. We talked about references back to the cartoons.
Yeah.
I will say one reference that I did not like
Okay.
was, I'm sure everyone knows by now that Leonard Nimoy is the voice of Sentinel Prime.
Yeah.
And they made two Star Trek references.
Yeah. One at the very beginning.
One at the very beginning that I thought
near
was
the
great and was hilarious, and that's where it should have ended for me. But then later on in the movie, they literally rip a Spock line out of Star Trek and put it right in this movie, and I didn't...
Star Trek II line.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed to be there. I didn't think it really fit. It wasn't required, and,
No.
and it was one of those, they said that, they did that moments. So for me, like, really up until the point where they get to Chicago, like, the Autobots show back up.
I think the last hour is just a spectacular action fest, but that's
could you
me.
have skipped the first hour?
Oh yeah, I could have skipped the first hour.
You could have skipped the first hour and still been like...
I could have really skipped Ken Jeong's penis jokes.
Yeah, I think, he's funny, he's hilarious, but again, was he needed in this movie?
I think the good thing about this one was that compared to the second movie, there was a lot less crude humor.
Yeah.
But when they did it, it was right in your frickin' face.
Yeah.
And it was in 3D, which was even worse.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, bathroom, ah!
Yeah.
It's like, not great, not great.
So,
but, I mean, I enjoyed the film overall.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect. Then again, no film by Michael Bay is.
No.
Please.
It could, Transformers 1 could have been more perfect.
Oh, yeah.
If they took the fighting and how they slowed it down and everything and put it in Transformers 1, Transformers 1 would have absolutely, totally blown me away. Like, as it was still awesome.
It was a still great film.
Yes, but that would have been, like, by far killer. So,
but
there you have it.
You can never compare a movie like Transformers 3 to a film like Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life, which I also enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. You leave your brain at the door and you
enjoy
sit back
the worm.
And enjoy the worm. Other than that, it was an okay film.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's for everyone because it's certainly
No.
not. And everyone that's seen it either loves it or hates it.
Yes. It's probably going to be the best of the 80s tribute movies that are out there because the Smurfs is probably going to be...
I don't know, Fright Night looks pretty good.
It does have a shot, but I have a real soft spot in my heart for the original.
Yeah,
and the same
as
for
do
like
I.
Footloose, that's going to be like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
know.
The Smurfs will be awful. What
Oh
else?
god, yeah. There's a lot of other things.
This is
coming,
like bring
but-
back the 80s decade.
Yeah, well, Thundercats is back on TV again.
That's
so.
true. Yeah.
And a whole bunch of other stuff is following it.
Yeah.
But let's get back to business, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Why me, Bane, so constipated?